Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Crime and Wine. Now today we're actually here to talk about something very interesting, very interesting, and that's actually not murder. And in so much as I find murder quite interesting, no psychopath shit, but I'm actually here to talk about something that is also a panoramic in this Africa, in this continent, with this beautiful continent we like to call Africa. A panoramic is fraud, embezzlement, and corruption, and that's what we're here to talk about. And today we're actually going to be taking this story to the beautiful state of Lagos in Nigeria. And if you already hear that and you have heard I'm talking about fraud, embezzlement, and corruption, you already know who I'm about to talk about. You already know who I'm about to talk about. And that is the big guy. The papa. The cuckoo, the cockerel. Oppressor of the oppressed. He was influencing the influenced. Can you imagine? He was that guy. And that guy is Raymond Abbas, better known as Hushpuppi. Now, is it Raymond or is it Raymond? Because I really introduced him like that, I didn't even get his names right. And quick disclaimer, if I mention any of the things I'm saying in this video, please correct me with my accent and like my spelling of them, because me, I'm not Nigerian, I don't know, I wouldn't know, so please just bear with me. Anyway guys, let's jump right into this story. So Raymond Abbas was actually born on October 11, 31 years ago. You do the math. Me, I didn't have the time to do the math. Calculate the calculator, I'm not the mathematician. Me, I did core math, please respect yourself. Anyway, so Mr. Raymond was born on October 11th, and despite many rumors that he was born in June, I don't know, like, you know, some of the things that people lie about. Why is it a rumor that his birthday is in June when it's actually in October? I don't understand why that has to be a rumor. Like some of these blogs, what's up? The lie is not matching. Anyway, moving forward. So Mr. Raymond was born in the southwestern region of Nigeria, but he actually grew up in the mean streets of Lagos. And one thing, if you've been on Twitter or if you've ever literally held a phone in your hand, you know the streets of Lagos are mean. They're deadly mean and they're very rough. So he really grew up in that kind of rough environment, and his family he actually came from a very not well-off family. If I said well-off, that would indicate they were middle class, but they were not even close to middle class. They were poor, and it actually later came out, despite Raymond trying to hide it and everything, it came out that his mother was a bread seller and his father was a taxi driver. So they didn't even have enough money to take him to a private school. So even in terms of education, many sources speculate that he went to public schools because he couldn't afford to go to private schools. Actually, only his secondary education, like the school, was able to be identified as a high school in Lagos. It was a government high school. It was called college something. I didn't get the second part. It was called college something. But that was it. He went to public schools. He came from a very poor family. And the captivating story about Raymond is his rise to this bigger than life person, this extravagant person. And he had, like, from his humble beginnings, and you'll see through this entire story that his niche, or his whole thing, was that he came from nothing, from literal rags to riches. And let me tell you one thing about Africans: we are suckers. Do you know suckers? Suckers for a good rags to riches story. For a good rags to riches story, we are suckers. So it was actually at the secondary school that he finally got into, computer sciences and everything. And we don't really know how good he was at the other subjects, but one thing that remained prominent throughout this entire story is that in secondary school he discovered this love for ICT, and he became really good at computers and everything. And if you know one thing about the whole NSARS movement and everything, it's the whole concept of a yahoo boy. So many people in Nigeria, even those that are not yahoo boys, are usually accused of being yahoo boys, because, like, if you have a small interest in computers, they accuse you of being a yahoo boy. Now, what is a yahoo boy? A yahoo boy is someone who is an internet fraudster, an internet scammer, the scammer. So many people in that area, when they saw that he started to pick up this entire, love for computers, etc., they already started assuming that he is a yahoo boy. And it has never really been confirmed or not whether at that point in his life he was actually doing internet fraudster and internet scamming. But the next part of his life really does make you wonder, was he doing internet fraud and internet scamming? Because at this point in his life, he's finished high school and everything, and he now gets an opportunity to go to Malaysia. And it's very unclear how he was able to get money to be able to move from Nigeria to Malaysia, because he came, like I said, from an extremely poor family. And it's pretty sad to be honest, that I have to like contemplate that, but I do. And I'm not accusing him, but I'm just thinking like, where did he get the money? Because the money was really not being accounted for. I tried my best to find how he got his way to Malaysia, but I didn't see. Now, when Hushpuppi moved to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, those of you who are Malaysian livers, tell me if I'm spelling that correct. When he moved to Kuala Lumpur, he really became that guy. Let me tell you, he now started to bang for us. Hey! Hushpuppi now became an expert in what we like to call packaging. Now, packaging is when you obviously go on the internet and you package yourself in a way that if someone saw you on your day-to-day lifestyle, they wouldn't believe it's you. Like all of us do packaging to an extent on the internet, but his was drastic because when he went to Malaysia, he started showing people this kind of extravagant lifestyle, etc. And everybody back home is like, whoa, have you seen Hushpuppi's Instagram? Have you seen how he's now big balling? He's a baller, he's a big boy. But in reality, he wasn't really that rich, but he knew how to package himself. And it was in Malaysia that he started really getting a huge Instagram social media following because everybody's like, whoa, this guy, poor guy from Lagos, Nigeria, he's now getting money, he's getting places, he's going places. And at this point, he's really becoming a big guy on social media. And you know now, in natural big guys on social media fashion, he starts attacking other people, other big guys on social media. And he specifically targeted like Nigerian rappers and Nigerian artists to the point where Fino and another artist actually came together and they made a whole diss track for this guy because this guy now went to tweet on Twitter that they usually used to wear fake bling and fake wristwatches, but he could never be him, let me tell you a side note. 9 times out of 10 people who say could never be me when it comes to things involving money, something that's usually very difficult to come across. People who are like, could never be me going to eat at a side kibanda food stop. Could be you, could very much be you. Because the day that money stops coming in, could really be you. In fact, when we catch you there like a rat on the highway, we'll just be like, anyway, back to the story at hand. So now he's really becoming a big guy on social media. He's having beef with famous celebrities, big politicians in Nigeria. And one of his most iconic beefs is the one he had with the artist Davido. If you don't know who Davido is the guy who sang, "So I am looking for a sister, Choma, my lover, whoa." That's the guy who Davido is. Or if you don't know him for that one, he sang, "Girl, you just they blow my mind" with Chris Brown. So he had a seriously iconic beef with Davido. And it didn't make any sense because if you know Davido, if you follow Davido's life story, Davido being a rich kid, like Davido being rich before rich was riching. So him actually becoming a star or like a pop star is like a, by the way, it's like it just added money. So he already had money. And this guy, Mr. Hushpuppi, has just gotten money. So I don't understand. Him and Davido's beef was iconic in the sense that they were always competing to see who would outdo each other with the biggest bags, the biggest car, the baddest babe. And it was crazy to me because as I'm reading it, I'm wondering, why are you competing with Davido when Davido has more money than you will ever have? And I mean that with utmost respect. Like, it didn't make any sense, but that was the most iconic beef between that really went on Nigerian social media at the point. And it was so iconic to the point where he actually moved from Malaysia because of the beef between him and Davido. I don't know what really happened, but it's cited in the sources that the reason he actually moved from Malaysia to the United Arab Emirates is because of the beef between him and Davido. And let me tell you one thing about people who live in the UAE, like, you guys are rich. The way the dirham is looking against the Kenyan shilling, y'all are rich. Like, anyone who tells me, yeah, I live in Dubai, I'm usually like, wow. So it's money. We're talking about money. And now, if you know something about Dubai, Dubai is very extravagant. So because he couldn't actually move to Dubai immediately and afford his own place to stay in Dubai, he actually stayed with his friend Ismail Mustafa, and he stayed in his apartment. Now, Ismail Mustafa, he was like an established forex trader in Dubai, and he had money, and it was legit money. He moved to Dubai. If you think he was doing big boy things in Malaysia, he wasn't doing big boy things. Because if you know one thing about Dubai is extravagant. I mean, I've personally never been into Dubai. I've just been to the airport, but I've never entered into Dubai, like entered the country. But just from the airport, guys, like, there's trains, mad shit in the airport like JKIA could never. Like, it's crazy. Like, what? Internet that's working? Me, that's how I know it's a place, it's a classy place. Internet that's working, because Kenya, Africa, we have a serious problem with internet. We need to fix it. Anyway, so he now moves to Dubai and he starts doing real hot boy shit. He was buying Gucci every other day, Versace, Fendi, everything. His Instagram took like 10 toes up. He started buying Bentley, started buying luxury cars. Like, it was wild. Every other day he's on a yacht, every other day he's in a jet. Like, if you know one thing about Dubai, they do it big or they go home. I even had a rumor, I actually heard a rumor, I don't know, confirm in the comment section if it's true, that policemen in Dubai used to drive Lamborghinis because people just leave Lamborghinis in the streets, so the police them take them. Are we actually all living on the same earth? Sometimes I really wonder if we're all living on the same earth, because me, guy. Kenyans the ghetto. Anyway, moving on. So he now moves to Dubai and he's doing real hot boy shit. And now by the time he's there, people are really starting to ask questions. They're like, okay, so you are living in Malaysia, now you've moved to Dubai and your lifestyle has not changed. If anything, it's gotten better. So everybody's now obviously like, hey, oh boy, tell us the tricks. Even as we're trying to be rich like you, man. Now, when he's being asked all this, he's always like finding a way to dodge. Always like, don't worry, investments, business investments, just smart timing, investments, stocks, etc. But then now in 2017, as he's trying to cap us on the Instagram, now his friend, he double-crossed his friend. Remember his friend that he's staying with, his best friend, Ismail Mustafa, the established forex trader that actually has money. Also him, he was on the Instagram gramming. And he wouldn't believe what he went to post on Instagram in 2017. Now in 2017, Mustafa takes to Instagram to come and be telling us that, oh, Hushpuppi is a fraudster. That Hushpuppi is not only a fraudster, even that following he has on Instagram, the 2.5 million followers with the verification tick, that he bought most of those followers, and that the verification tick, he bought that tick from Instagram. How do you even buy the verification tick? What? I even heard if you buy followers, you can't get verified. So like, also the insults Mustafa is throwing didn't make sense. But anyway, moving on. Mustafa also said that this man's Hushpuppi couldn't even on God, he couldn't even afford the taxi to go and take those pictures at the mall with the Fendis and the Guccis and the Versaces. He couldn't. That he used to borrow his wife, now his best friend's wife, he used to borrow the wife 20 to 30 dirhams to be able to just go there. And that this man would sleep with influencers, yes, but he would call the influencers over to his own house, Ismail's own house, because Hushpuppi couldn't even afford rent. And I just want to take a side note. And the side note being, get better friends. Get better friends. Guys, like, how will your friend just expose your nyash like that? How will your friend open your nyash like that? Like, your ass cheek spread for the entire world to just see your asshole. Like, what? Like, the friend exposed him. Have you fucking exposed? Having those bags that he's taking, the pictures with the Fendis, the Guccis, the Versaces, that they were empty ass bags. But then the thing is, like, for you to have the bag, don't you have had to have bought something? Does that make sense? Like, wouldn't you, like, it's like having a bag from Naivas. Don't you have to have gone to Naivas, bought something once upon a time, and then you possess the bag? And also, do Versace employees just let any and everybody walk in there? And also, the thing of him being a thief also didn't make sense, because Hushpuppi was actually a brand ambassador for Versace and for Gucci. So it's like, if he was really faking it with all this, why would they make him a brand ambassador? But that's a by the way. This man now opens his whole ass nyash. And the one that really caught people's attention is the fact that he said that Hushpuppi never had any money and that Hushpuppi was a fraudster. And so actually, the reason why all of this happened, the reason why him and Hushpuppi fell out with each other, according to Mustafa, is because Hushpuppi actually used Mustafa's accounts. He hacked Mustafa's accounts and went to commit fraudulent acts with these accounts, and Mustafa actually caught the legal charges and everything for these fraudulent acts. So he obviously wasn't happy that he was housing this whole fraudulent person, and this whole fraudulent ass person now bring his fraudulent ass behaviors into his business. So he was pissed, and the fact that he exposed him, Now everybody is on Hushpuppi's neck. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? And now he now takes to Instagram to be lying on goddamn people's names and people's Instagram accounts. He now takes to Instagram to be telling people that, hey, like since you people want to force me to say who I am, you're not gonna believe it. He now came to tell us he's a real estate developer. Now, one thing you know, if you don't know, for you to be anywhere, especially in real estate development, you need to have a lot of money. And if you don't remember, Mr. Hushpuppi came from the streets of Lagos. He was poor. So now the next question people are asking is, okay, fine, well and good, you're a real estate developer, but how did you get the money to real estate develop? And where are the real estates that you're developing? Because you never post them. We never see, like, you know, when someone is posting and stuff like that, like when you're an influencer, many influencers have a product that they're selling. Hushpuppi had no product. Hushpuppi was just posting for posting's sake. So it's like, what? And by this time, Hushpuppi had, the reason why I was calling him the influencer of the influenced, he was real, like his social media presence was mad. He had 2.5 million followers on Instagram. And guys, it's not easy to have that kind of following on Instagram, especially in Africa. Like Africa guys, like if you know people are following you, you know you're doing something right, because people in Africa, the amount of money we have to pay for bundles is ridiculous. It should actually be illegal. It should be illegal. Like what? If honestly, the amount of money you have to buy for bundles in Africa is crazy. And then number one, you buy the bundles, and then number two, one of two things will happen. Either the lights will go and you won't even be able to use your bundles because the system down there will also go down, or they'll just for some miraculous reason, your bundles, the network just disappears. As soon as you subscribe like this, it disappears. It just goes like that. So you know that he was doing something. People were really, really following him. So for such a big accusation to come out against such a big influencer, people now really started looking into it. And people are now calling on the government, the legal authorities. And remember, Hushpuppi also still has beef with many politicians and all these Instagram people online, these famous people. And everybody now is starting to call on the authorities to be investigating Hushpuppi and what he's doing. And if you don't know something about Nigeria, according to many people, I'm not Nigerian, but I've heard this from Nigerians, according to many Nigerians, like the government and the police and everybody doesn't like to see a young man winning in Nigeria. Like it is looked at very suspect. They will automatically assume you're doing fraudulent stuff simply because you're young and you're winning. And that's exactly the case that now happened to Hushpuppi. At this point, people are really calling for people to be looking into what Hushpuppi really does on this online. And look into it, they did, child. And what they found, brace yourselves. Brace yourselves for the Investigation Discovery Channel. They caught him like a rat on the highway. Now, let's go through the list. I actually have a list here. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at the list. I'm gonna read off the list. That's how much he did. I have to read off a list. Now, in October of 2019, Hushpuppi had committed a BEC scheme that defrauded a client of a New York-based law firm of approximately $922,857 US. US dollars. Convert that into your currency. Thank you. US dollars. Guys. Let me put this one down first. Let me put it down first, because I want us to resonate with that dollars. Do you know that's not even my school fees? And I'm a university student. Do you know that's not even my school fees? $1 million. How? You know my question? The better question is, how was the US law firm defrauded? What do you say to somebody to make them believe and to make them really be like, yeah, that sounds like sense. That sounds like vibes. Let me send you $1 million. Me, the way I have a problem even sending like 500 bob to someone. Guys, the most I can borrow someone when it comes to money is 100 shillings. Period. Hate me if you want to hate me. Anyway, let's move on. So the next defraudation that Hushpuppi decided to defraud us. Hey, he on top, same law firm. Yeah, same law firm that has just been stolen from 1 million. Now, one of Hushpuppi's friends went to California and stole approximately $400,000 from that same silly law firm. Same silly law firm. In fact, at this point, it's not even Hushpuppi's fault that the law firm is silly. It's not his fault, because how are you convinced to send all that money to somebody? How are you convinced to send all that money without verification of who this person is, without physically meeting, seeing the person, be like, okay, this is a sensible deal? How do you wire that amount of money? Furthermore, Hushpuppi had gold. I'm being choked. Furthermore, it's around this time Hushpuppi went to post a picture and he said, better to know the difference between what's real and what's not. And you know what? He didn't lie. He didn't lie, because I think that's the key to not being scammed by a scammer. Because if you knew the difference between what's real and what's not, you wouldn't be in the position you are. You wouldn't be in the position you are. Hushpuppi also, in this same month that he defrauded these people, took to Instagram to wish himself a happy 31st birthday. And where will you take him? Nowhere. Because he's already in Dubai on a yacht, shaking his arms in a thong. So you won't do a goddamn thing to him. Next defraudation scheme. Next, in February, we're even going backwards actually. In February of 2019, he and his co-conspirators scammed $14.7 million from a bank. That's the worst one. From a bank. How do you convince a bank? Let's continue. From the Bank of Malta. They convinced the Bank of Malta to release $14.7 million to them. And they then proceeded to commit international fraud with that $14.7 million. How do you convince a bank to remove that amount of money in the bank? How? What documents do you have to forge? What accent do you have to do like this? What accent do you have to put on to convince a bank? Do you know that this withdrawal from the Bank of Malta, it was so devastating to the economy that the head of the bank, the governor of the bank, actually had to be called by parliament for them to discuss what the fuck they were going to do, because now they're in the fucked situation because they're going to lose all the money. They've lost the money for the economy. I'm not sorry for laughing. Imagine you as the bank head being asked by members of parliament, sir, what happened? And you're like, I don't know. I'm laughing because it's so bad. Like, it's so bad. I'm so sorry to the bank. Like, I'm so sorry to the head of the bank that had to answer all those questions. I'm so sorry to the economy of Malta, all the people that suffered in Malta because of Hushpuppi. Because Hushpuppi wanted to shake his nyash on a yacht. You guys had to really eat grass and beans and sleep. And I'm so sorry for that. I'm really so sorry for that. Anyway, the next defraudation scheme. Unknown dates, Hushpuppi also defrauded another US law firm of $14 million. You know, I don't understand. Even on like many of these channels, I'm so sorry there's noise outside, but I don't understand. Even on many of these crime discovery channels, like when they do fraud, US people are always being defrauded. Like, do you guys think you're the only one with internet access? Or do you think that you're the only one with like an internet person? What's up? Why are you always the ones being caught? Because me, when I click on something and I see it says you've won a free iPhone, I don't then proceed to go and put in all my internet details. Like, it doesn't make no good sense. Like, what? Anyway, moving forward. At this point, he's really racking the racks. He's bringing in money. And he didn't just stop there. You see, the thing about theft and about stealing is when you steal the first time you're not caught, you're like, I mean, if I do that again, will I be caught? And the catch is usually the second time. Because if you steal twice and you're not caught, like, guys, nobody can tell you shit. Because you're like, where will they take me? And where is that they'll take me that I've never stepped before? So now Mr. Hushpuppi is really feeling like he is that guy. So now he's stolen from an entire bank. He has now proceeded to steal from yet another US law firm, $40 million. Next, he also planned to steal $124 million. 100 million pounds. Yeah, that's 100 million pounds from an English Premier League football club. But he only managed to steal $7.7 million in deposit. So guys, may I wonder, like, what? How do people just make such large amounts of money be transferred and you've never seen this person? You've never met this person? Like, and you don't even have the excuse that TCG, COVID, what, because you can Zoom if it's that deep. But anyway, they're getting their money stashed and racked up, and Hushpuppi is he's in Dubai at this point, really posting pictures of him in his own private jet. He's really living life. Now, next again, these are now international fraudsters. This is the international fraud level. But now he's in UAE and he just couldn't help himself. He had to steal in the UAE as well. So he actually stole $1 million from a Qatari businessman that actually wanted to start a school for children. And that's like, I just want to pause. That was like the trash part of all this, because, you know, it's been fun and games. Okay, it hasn't been fun and games because people are losing money, but it's like, children, really? Like, that's how you know someone has crossed a boundary towards you'll never ever be able to redeem them ever again. But he really crossed that line, and he really stole money from children. And he also stole $1 million from another law firm in Qatar. And law firms, what is it? Lawyers, you're embarrassing us. How are you people wiring all of this? Anyway, let me not even judge them, because you never know. Because even me, that's even another story time. Actually, comment down below if you want me to tell you guys about that time I was scammed. Let me not judge everybody so harshly, because even me, I've been in that situation. Anyway, this thing is really annoying, the noise in the back. But anyway, that's really the position where Hushpuppi is at. And by this time, it is 2019, 2020. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to do like date breakdowns like my last video. But this one didn't really have many date breakdowns, because his life is actually very iffy. Like, did he, didn't he, did he, didn't he? It was very giving a little bit of the ghost. Anyway, by this time, it's 2019, late 2019, entering early 2020. And Hushpuppi is really living his life. Like, at this point, no one has caught him. No one has caught on to what he's doing. He's just living life, posting pictures in Dubai, everything. But he doesn't know that because so many Americans at this point in time were actually being robbed and defrauded and scammed online by Nigerian princes, there was a lot of focus on like the amount, like the Americans were really monitoring the amount of money coming in and out of the country, and they're seeing outrageous amounts, 40 million going. And then a little few days after that, the firms are like really suing etc. They're trying to figure out who these people are. So there was a lot of internet scamming going on in America, and the FBI was tired of it. They were like, no, y'all are not gonna rob Karen anymore. We're gonna catch you. So by this time, the FBI are really looking into who is stealing all this money. Where is all this money going? And I even heard a rumor that Hushpuppi actually tried, like during COVID, he tried to steal money from the American, this is a rumor, by the way, that he tried to actually steal money from the government of, like the American government, for COVID supplies or something like that. But I think that was a rumor, because I didn't see that in any of the sources. But moving on. So the FBI are really looking into who this is. And, you know, the firms have reported it and handed all their evidence over. And so the FBI goes to look through it. They hire ICT experts, people who can track, and they track it and track it back to the accounts of Raymond Hushpuppi. Now they've tracked it. And now once, you know, the problem with having your account found, like your name and everything, like your username and everything, is it's very easy to identify every other aspect of your life. Because if, like me, I'm Paige Carrier here, when you type that in the system, everything will come out, like who I am, where I went to school, what, every record of me will come up. And so when they type his name in the system, they see him and all his friends. So he's just sold out his friends as well. They also see his Instagram and his Snapchat, of which he's very active, and they're like, oh my god, this man is a whole ass influencer, like he's not hiding. So they look at it, and the funny thing, and this is why I say social media will finish you people, is that this is actually how they caught Raymond Hushpuppi, because he wasn't on American soil, he wasn't in Nigeria, he wasn't anywhere like that, he was in the UAE, but they didn't know. And it was going to be very difficult to find where he is, because I think he was using like a barrier. Like, I don't know. They just didn't know his location. And the way they were able to know his location is through Instagram, because everywhere he's posting, every day he's posting, it's saying UAE, Dubai. So the FBI gets in contact with the people in Dubai, the policemen in Dubai, and the policemen in Dubai are like, oh, you two babes, we're looking for him too. We're trying to catch him too. So they really collaborate. And you know, one thing about American police is when they want to catch you like a rat, they're going to catch you like a rat. Like a fat rat. Let me tell you, they really investigated this guy, and they got to, when they did that team up, it was over for Hushpuppi. Like, it was over for Hushpuppi and all of his friends. They really went in with it. And the problem is, they didn't even have to struggle to find out where he was, where he stayed, etc., because he was also extremely active on Snapchat, and they just used his Snap location to know exactly where he is. That's how in June of 2020, they were able to just nicely pop up to his door at his hotel and be like, hey, what's up? Because they just used his Snapchat location, and they knew exactly where he was. Was he moving? Was he listening to music? What was he up to? He was just chilling. And that's why I say social media will finish you people. Like, it's okay, like, post your picture, but don't put your goddamn actual location when you're still there. Calm down. Anyway, so he's now on June of 2020. Raymond Abbas Hushpuppi is arrested by the police like a rat on the highway. Now let me read you the list of the things that Raymond was caught with. His apartment in the hotel. He used to live in the Palazzo Versace. Palazzo Versace. I don't even know if it's a hotel or an apartment complex. That's just how much I don't concern myself with things that are not in my tax bracket. Anyway, so his apartment was raided in an operation called Codename Fox Hunt 2. Fox. By the time they call you as sly as a fox. Fox Hunt 2. He was arrested alongside 11 others. Imagine how pissed you'd be if you were part of the 11. Imagine how pissed you'd be if you're part of the 11 when your lawyer tells you that they caught you like that, like a rat, because Raymond couldn't stay off social media. Yeah, he was caught with 6 others in 6 simultaneous raids. Detectives seized more than 150 dirham. I'm not even gonna convert that because I know like 1 dirham is like 700 Kenyan shillings now play. But it's real serious. It's like the dirham is pretty strong. Like about 400. That's $400 million, $40 million in cash. 13 luxury cars worth $7 million. 21 laptops, 47 smartphones, 15 memory storage devices, and 5 external hard drives. He also, among those, had 800,000 emails of potential victims alongside suitcases on top of the other money they found, full of cash. So Hushpuppi was really not playing games. Like he wasn't playing games. Like he had money. So all this stuff his friend was talking about that he doesn't have money. Maybe in the beginning he didn't have as much money, but he had money because he was frauding and he was also a brand ambassador for all these luxury brands. To a point where even Rolex made him a customized watch. So he had cash. So all this lie where his friend is trying to talk, it's like, calm down there, calm down. Actually, when the friend and him actually crossed each other, I forgot to mention this, that's actually how people found out about his mother being a bread seller and his father being a whole taxi driver. And that's how people went to do more investigations and found out that he actually has a brother that's a hair barber in Lagos, and the mother doesn't like him and the brother interacting because the mother always used to say that you gonna get caught for what you're doing something wrong and you gonna get caught, and he never used to believe it. So I don't know how the mother felt at this point. Like as a mother, I don't know if you think to tell them I told you so, or do you think Bambi, my son, got caught fine? Like I don't know what you would think, but the mother had called it from a very long time ago, and to the point where she really didn't want the other siblings to interact with Hushpuppi at all. So that's just a side note because I forgot to say that in the beginning. So when Hushpuppi was arrested, he was arrested and he was kept in Dubai for like the entire month of June. But on 3rd of July 2020, he was extradited to the United States of America. And you know one thing about America, and they've said this time and time again, but you bitches refuse to listen, is that the US does not negotiate with terrorists. And is now a terrorist. Is he a terrorist? I don't know. Allegedly. But they're not laughing. They're not finding it funny. He actually asked to be posted for bail. He said, you know, I'll pay for bail. Let me just be bailed out. He wanted to go stay with a relative of his. And they said, no, you're not going to be bailed. You're not leaving. And they were like, because, and when he said why, they were like, because you're a flight risk. Like you look like you're going to take off any moment. So you're going to stay here. You're going to stay in police custody and you're going to remain here. And now one thing I really want to digress onto is it legal? Like, is it legal for them to be able to take someone who is not of their nationality, take them back to their soil and just charge him? And the truth of the matter is, Hushpuppi couldn't really go up against the American government and be like, no, I'm Nigerian, give me back my Nigerian rights. I want to go back to Nigeria and be charged in our own court of law, because he actually surrendered his citizenship of Nigeria in 2018. And he was like a member, he was a citizen of a small island called St. Ives, like in the West Indies. And what is a small island going to come and do against America? Nothing. At least Nigeria has oil, so they can be like, we can strike an oil deal for him or something. Plus, even if he was to say he wants to go to be tried in Nigeria, the Nigerians were also really waiting for him, because being investigated by the section of the police department in Nigeria that's for investigating fraud and internet scamming and all of that. He was being investigated by them, but he actually like paid off the head guy. He paid him off and told him, you know what, just leave the story to the side. We can leave it alone, etc, and we can just move on and be good. So even if he did go back to Nigeria, the cops were very, very sure, the FBI were very sure that, you know what, this man, he can't go back there because A, he can't claim those rights, he's not a citizen anymore, and B, if he goes back there, they had already investigated and realized that he actually had corrupted those people, like he had bribed them, and that's how he was able to get away with all this. So the FBI wasn't gonna let him go back. So Hushpuppi was told, you sit there, you shut up, and you wait for your trial. So now the days of trial are approaching, fast approaching, and Hushpuppi gets an attorney. And the sad thing is, the attorney actually dropped the case. He said that he couldn't take the case anymore because the trial was actually set to happen in Chicago, and he said he can't practice in Chicago. Apparently in America you have to be like certified by the bar in each state, but he said he can't practice in Chicago, and he had to give up the case. He got another attorney, and the other attorney just ghosted him. The other attorney was a toxic nigga. He really ghosted him. He said, no, I'm tired, I'm done, please. They were talking one day, he just stopped talking. He got a third attorney called Luis Shapiro. I'm not sure if I'm saying the first name right, but he got an attorney called Mr. Shapiro, and that's actually the attorney he has till today. And Mr. Shapiro is actually a very highly renowned criminal prosecutor. Like, he was a prosecutor for the state. And by the time you get there, you're a damn good lawyer, because to be the state prosecutor, you have to know your shit, because otherwise, if you don't, you're gonna cut the entire state a lawsuit, and then now everyone's looking at you like you're dumb, and everybody's getting their paychecks cut because of your stupidity. No one is gonna find it funny. So you have to be really competent. You have to be good at your goddamn job, and he was good at his goddamn job, which is why it was so surprising to me that when they actually went to trial, he tried to argue the motion that Hushpuppi was an Instagram influencer, and that's how he made his money. And so the court is looking at him like, are you serious? They pulled out records of Instagram influencers, and no influencer is making $4 million. No Instagram influencer has a net worth of $4 million. Are you sick? $4 million? Are you sick? Even me, if they were influencing like that, gosh. Can you imagine? So now he tries to make that argument, which really was so underwhelming, because it's like, wow, everyone was really waiting for the case, because he really, in the time leading up to the case in the press, he was really making it seem like my client is not guilty. My client, only to hear that is your poorest excuse for an argument. Anyway, moving forward, I think at a point they both realized that it's not going to work, that this trial we're going to lose anyway. So Hushpuppi actually pleaded guilty. He pleaded guilty. He changed his plea to guilty. And if you don't know, one thing about the law is that if you actually plead guilty, they're more inclined to go easy on you with regards to your sentence, because it shows remorse, and it shows that, you know what, there's awareness that, hey, what I did was wrong, and you've saved the state money in this case, etc. So they're more willing to offer you a deal that, hey, if you plead guilty, we're gonna lessen your sentence. So he pled guilty, and I couldn't find the sentencing. I couldn't really find the sentencing online, but I do know he pled guilty to Deputy Commissioner of Police in Nigeria, Abba Kyari, as an accomplice in his $1.1 million deal. Scam, actually, not deal. I don't know why they're referring to it as deal. The following day, a U.S. court granted FBI warrant to arrest Abba Kyari. The police chief was further implicated after his conversation with Hushpuppi was released. Now, this is just so crazy, because recently, I think even this year or late last year, the new head of, the commission, I'm forgetting, EACC, yes, the EACC, the new head was arrested also on counts of fraud. So I don't even know how they're investigating fraudsters when they're also, on counts of corruption, like embezzlement and stuff. So I don't even know how they're investigating embezzlers and corrupt people when they're also embezzling and corrupting. So I also have another question. It says that the FBI issued a warrant for Abba Kyari's arrest, and it's like, I don't know. I feel, personally, I don't know if it makes sense for me to be brought from Kenya to be taken to another state to what? to be tried in their country. And you know, the thing about American citizens is American citizens are usually like treated like they're cups of gold. Like American citizens, if there's one thing the American government has done for their people, is given them international leeway, because you can't just try an American citizen on your soil. They're gonna say he's an American citizen, let him come back. I was reading about another case. It was an Australian case. It's called the Blackout Burner Massacres. It happened during World War II. And it was actually an American citizen who was actually murdering young women in Australia. And when they found out it was him, despite how vicious the murders were, the Americans said, no, we have to take him back. He's a citizen of ours. We'll take him back and try him. And I think it's only America with that amount of leeway to be deciding that they're going to try your citizens on their soil, but their citizens are never going to be tried on other people's soil. And I just wanted that to just go in there, power politics. But anyway, that's a by the way. So I don't know to which degree it's legal that Hushpuppi should be tried there, and that also Abba Kyari should be arrested where he is and then sent to whatever. Like, we have our own legal systems, Jor. Anyway, moving forward. So yeah, that is the case of the scammer the papa. That is the case of Hushpuppi. And what I will say about this case, guys, is please be careful. Like, social media will finish you people. Like, social media will really kill you folks. And this is coming from someone who really posts on social media every day. It reached a point where I was posting and I was really so obsessed with how many people have seen it, how many likes it gotten. And I was like, calm down, babe. Calm down, sweetie. Relax. It's just a number. It's just a post. And sure, it can help you with other things. But if you see that, you know what? This thing is taking up way too much of my mental effort and way too much of my mental space, quit it. Because this guy, insofar as Hushpuppi knew, do you know he could have walked free? He could have gone free if he minded his goddamn business. But he wanted you people on social media to be telling him, oh my god, oh boy, you're the guy, you're the baddest boy. And it's like, okay, and then now? You people are the same people who are making memes. You people are the same people where when the video of him being captured by police, when it was released, it went viral. I actually went to look at his Instagram. It's still up, by the way. And the comments, you people are still commenting. It's been how long? You people are still commenting in 2021. Quit. Like, that's what I'm saying, guys. Just remember, people on the internet don't care for your well-being. If you fall today, they'll be the first ones to laugh. They're waiting for your downfall. So just relax. Keep calm and don't allow social media to rule your life to the point where you're getting caught by the police because you can't help yourself but take a picture in Dubai on a yacht. It's okay. Experience the yacht without having to post it for us and just live your life, guys. And yeah, I will try see if I can find an update of whether, like, what the sentence was when he finally got sentenced. I will try see what also happened to Abba Kyari, and I will link all of the things that I've used in this case. I will link them down in the description box if you guys want to read it for yourself. Please comment down below if you really enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe if you really do want this channel to grow. It helps with the engagement. The more you engage with me, the more I know what you want to see with regards to content, and the more my channel grows, because the more people get to know. Instagram will promote it more because it's you guys are telling the algorithm we like this, so it wants other people to like this. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.